Alright, welcome back to Combatants Will Be Dispatched, interview episode number 12. This one, like I mentioned last time, I'm discussing books 3 and 4 of the light novels. Now, one thing I should point out about the light novels. The first book is the longest book of the whole series, at 250 pages. And you get the second book, it's a lot shorter. How much shorter is it? Well, the second volume is only 169 pages. Now, what about books 3 and 4? 3, which this book right here, I almost kind of forgot Alice was not on the cover, but 6 on the cover. Yeah, that's something interesting though. 6 on all the covers I've seen that books that own. Yet Alice is only on 2 of them. Yep, only 2. This book is 174 pages, and this book I just finished reading just recently. This one has got 204 pages, makes it slightly longer than the last book. This book is all about the Undead Festival, and Tiger Man does play a small role in this book, a little more than he does in the previous 2 books. So, the Undead Festival is something that apparently that Grimm wants to do. And also there's this weird thing because Russell was basically wearing the maid dress. We have this thing where apparently 60 think it's a good idea to flip Russell's skirt. They do a couple times in here. Which I thought this was, okay, whatever. Also, there's other stuff involving 6 in here, like, get this. Where he breaks into Princess Tilly's bedroom, and you would think, because he broke into the bedroom, what is he going to do next? Is he going to rape her? No. What does he do? He strips naked to do some exercises right next to her. I'm like, what the heck? Apparently got evil points for breaking into a room, and they brought Agent 10 in to do the same thing. And they decided to have like a barbecue, do some exercises, and then one night Agent 10 basically got caught while doing this, and apparently, get this, okay, so apparently 6 admitted he was doing this too, so yeah, they put extra guards in her room. Yep. But that's basically a subplot. The whole thing with 6. He's basically reduced to a subplot. He's in the book, but he doesn't do a lot. I mean, he's basically there just for a good laugh. The Undead Festival, just summoning back people and golems, which doesn't work out too well, causes a lot of ruckus. There's some mild effects in the next book, too. Eventually, of course, the thing is undone, and, well, everything's turned back normal. Yes, but that's the general purpose of the story. It's all focused on Grimm. And you probably think, okay, what about Rose or Alice? Alice doesn't surprisingly do very much in this book. She does very little. Rose, I think she helps out with the golems, but that's basically it. Russell does practically nothing, aside from the fact he's embarrassed. Tiger Man does very little in the book. But yeah, for the next book, it's actually pretty good. I'm going to give the book a 9 out of 10. Next up is the most recent book I got, which is book 4. And you're probably thinking, who is that lovely woman next to Alice, and why does she look like Alice? That is Lilith the Black. Yep. And this is the first book of the series where she actually does something. And you're probably thinking, though, what the heck is up with Six's pose where he acts like a pretty woman, basically, showing off his hair like that? Like, what? Yeah. And here's the strange thing, though. Oh, almost forgot to mention. Snow does play a role in this book. This book she does, but she disappears halfway through the book for like no reason. Yeah. So they need to bring in a supreme leader of the Kagasek Corporation for basically because their hideout's completed. But by the time they got there, the hideout was destroyed. So, like, who of the 3 beautiful leaders they summoned? Did they summon Astaroth? Did they summon Malal? Nope, it's Lilith, the useless one. And of course, 6 come with the fact that, well, her nickname is the useless boss, so she has lack of sex appeal, and the fact he even suggests that you have some tentacles attached to his body too. But the thing is, with the medical tentacles, only her brain is able to use it properly, because apparently his brain is too weak for it, for some reason. So basically, she gets transmitted to everybody. And she also apparently apologizes to Princess Tilly for the actions of 6 and 10 from the last book, which, okay. Also, she gets a chance to kill a monster in the book, which was pretty cool. Now you're probably thinking, does she counter Helene in the book? Yes. Yes, she does. And she does not counter Rose until the very end, until like about halfway through the book. She think Russell was the one that Stick was mentioning in his reports. No, it was actually Rose. Yep. And it's like, want to show off your stuff? Like, okay. Yeah. Yeah, and then of course, like halfway through the book, we have apparently Grimm and Snow were left behind the castle while Six, Alice, Lilith, and Rose go to the Demon King territory to negotiate with the Demon King, so he might know a little more about Rose. And they run into Helene. We have Helene have a brief combat session with Lilith, and basically Lilith comments, "Your description of her is pretty accurate." Yep, which I found to be so hilarious. There's also a little thing that he does with her, like, if you want to broaden your sex, we want you to show off some neckline, show off your midriff. Nope, she prefers basically all black suit. Hey, well, it's like, change like lab coat, whatever. Yep. But this book is actually pretty fun. I thoroughly enjoy reading it. It's actually longer than the last two books. This one just a little over 200 pages, only like 204, which is longer than the last two books. It was like first book was like really long, 250 pages, which I think is like almost the usual length that Konosuba is. And then you get to book 2 is like 90 pages shorter, and then next book is slightly longer. And this book is like a little bit long. It's actually a lot longer, like 30 pages longer. Yeah, this book is actually pretty good. Give this book a 9 out of 10. It's actually pretty fun. Yep. And we're kind of gearing toward the very end of the very first arc of the series. Yes, from what I've heard, Book 5 does wrap up the first arc of the light novels for Combatants Space Bashed. And Book 6 starts the second arc of the series, despite the fact it was just released here just last month. In Japan, it was released last year. Yep, last year. And here's the thing about the releases when it comes to these books. This book was released in November 2017. Book 2 in Japan was released in May 2018. Book 3, April 2019. 4, September 2019. Book 5, which I haven't gotten yet, that's released New Year's Day 2020, last year. And the 6th and most recent book was released in September. Though I think the releases here are a little more quicker than they were in Japan, where like a year, like basically like a year or at least close to a year. Yeah, first book over here, September 2019. Second book, December 2019. Last year releasing 2 books, the books I just reviewed, 3 and 4, April and September of last year. And book 5 was actually released just this past March, and book 6 was released last month. Yep. And the manga, most of the volumes, like 4 of the volumes have been released over here. Books 5 and 6, volumes 5 and 6 have not been released here. Not really sure why. Now, because the fact it's made by the Kawakawa Corporation, who published it in Japan, I would not be surprised, though, if they decided to include this series in the show Isekai Quartet. I would not be surprised. I hope they eventually included this show. Like, it wouldn't hurt. Not really, no. And I would also love to see, because it's published by the same company in Japan, and now on my smartphone. That would be interesting, especially, I guess Super would be jealous of the fact that Toya's engaged like 9 women. That would be interesting to show in the actual show itself. Yes, that would be something. Yep. But yeah, that's particularly it for this particular review. Next one's going to be One Piece and Boruto. And you're probably a little curious, though, like, why did I decide to do these 2 extra videos after I did my Combatants Space video? Because I wanted the episode 11 to be about my final thoughts, and this one just to review books for 3 and 4, just to make it even. That's simple just to be. Now, y'all are probably curious, though, why did I not do immediately more One Piece, like, review stuff? Because I wanted to get some of this anime done today, and then, of course, then go back to that. Okay? But see you next video. Bye.